Hi Floss Tube, it's me, Kimberly Butler, or you can call me Kim because everybody else does. Just don't call me Kimber. It's never been my favorite nickname. So today, I have lots to talk about. It's only been 2 weeks, but I always have lots to talk about. So anyways, let's get started. I have my list so I don't quite ramble so much because I feel like I rambled a lot last time. So I'm going to try to stay a little bit on track. Okay, today you see a different setting. I am at my mom's house. I'm visiting my mom and dad, but I still wanted to make my video. It's funny, like the whole 2 weeks after my last video, I was like, I want to make my next one. I want to make the next one. It gets time to make this one, and I'm like, no, let's not make it. I'm nervous. Let's not. But no, I want to. For my fans, my adoring fans. Just kidding. But I do want to thank all my new subscribers and everyone else who has watched and left comments. It really makes my day. Not the thumbs down. That made me kind of sad. But my friends pointed out it makes me a real YouTuber to get a thumbs down. Anyways, let's show you first. I have an FFO. And it is my love. I finished the last 2 hearts. And I said last time, the outer color is different on these last 2 hearts than any of the others. But oh well, I still think it's pretty. I really love how the whole design came out. And I like it on the black. I was hoping the black would make the colors pop. But I'm not sure it did. But I still really like it. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this at all. I stitched it just to stitch it. See my nails? 4th of July nails. Doo, doo, doo. So that was my only FO that I have. So right now, all I'm working on is my Stitch Rovia piece. I've gotten pretty far on Maze. I forget which one this is. I'm not going to do the pink inside of it that it calls for. Just because it's too much pink for me. I didn't like it. So I don't have too much left on this. I have the gray outline and then the back stitching really left on this. And that one, then I'll just move on to this one and then I'll be caught up just in time for the next one to start. And then Mario, I haven't worked on at all. It's still just Mario. After that, I'm going to move on to, because I need a purse one and those are too big to carry around with me. But this one's just right. It's one more stitch. I love this one because most times I'm like, just one more stitch. And then I'm like, oh God, it's an hour later. I really need to go to bed. I'm a big night owl, so it's like 3 in the morning and I'm like, oh my God, I need to go to bed. But I love this one. I had to pick out a new fabric for it because the first fabric I chose matched one of the thread colors. Didn't find that out until I started stitching it. But I thought this would look good, kind of like a nighttime look to it. It's a 32 count Joe Blend Twilight Blue. I got it from like a stash and load type site off Facebook. And this, I'm doing this with the Classic Colorworks that it calls for. It came as a kit from my LNS. Together. So that's that. That's all my whips and my future whip and my FFO. I'd really like to thank Michelle Bindi Stitches for her shout out. I loved it. I love all her videos. She really did give me a great boost of confidence to make my first video and feel like that, okay, I can do this. And so it's really great that she enjoyed it and to feel so welcomed in the community. She's my mentor. So that, check off my list because everyone loves a good checklist. Pretty good, Kim. Pretty good. I thought I'd do another, I printed up a list from, oh, good grief, now I can't remember. Printed up a list of all the different stitcher tags. And so I can mark off which ones I've done because you have to know which. I don't want to redo it. But I thought I'd do the Joy of Cross Stitch tag, originally posted by Crazy Creations. So let's go. Number one, how did I learn to stitch? Self-taught, completely self-taught kit learner. When I was in college about 10 years ago, I had a roommate who loved doing all sorts of crafts, paint by numbers, anything like that. She'd go to Michael's and pick up a kit to work on. And when she would get bored of it, she would leave whatever she had got just in the common area. And whoever wanted to could pick it up and work on it. And one day she bought a cross stitch. And I remember like 3 of us were working on it, just picked it up and would work on it. And I remember the first time I counted and it didn't match up, I was like, oh no, somebody's messed up and this cannot be allowed. I'm never working on a cross stitch with another person ever again. But yeah, so it was about 10 years ago when I was in college. So my mom's never cross stitched. She's never done anything like this. I've never had anyone teach me before. So I was entirely learning through reading the books and things like that. It wasn't even until recently that I found out about like online stuff. I never thought of anything more than kits until I went to like a thrift store and there was a big box of pre-round DMC and I was like, why does anybody pre-buy it? I don't know. I'm gonna get it. So that's why I got. So that's how I learned. Is just reading through the kits and figuring stuff out. So I'm sure I do tons of things, probably horribly wrong, but it works for me and it makes me happy, and that is what counts. Have I ever taught anyone how to stitch? Not that I know of. I've probably like tried to mention it to my mom, but she doesn't care. So not really. When I do stitch, do I like to watch TV, listen to music, or just have quiet? I can't just do one thing. I have to be doing multiple things at a time. It's one of the reasons I love cross stitch. It gives me a chance to listen to a book on tape or be watching TV or watching a movie or something like that, and also have something to do with my hands. And I love that, being able to create something while I'm doing something, because just sitting there watching TV is just so boring. I'm like, oh, I'm not doing anything. I need to be doing something while I'm watching TV or something like that. If I could play video games and cross stitch at the same time, that would be my favorite thing ever. But unfortunately, I do not have 4 hands. I'd look a little funny, but I think I could pull it off. When I use a kit, which company or companies do you like best? I'm more of a design versus anything else sort of stitcher. So I choose the design I like versus anything else. I don't have a favorite kit or least favorite kit or anything like that. I go, hey, does that design mean anything to me? Does that design mean anything to anybody I care about and I could stitch it and give it to them? Versus, ooh, I like that designer, I'm going to make it by them. Or that kit, you know. So there are some kits that I've heard things about and it scares me to stitch them. Dimensions, I've heard how hardcore those kits are. I do have one, but yeah, mainly I've never noticed the brand of the kits. I actually don't stitch by kits anymore. Since I've learned, because the kits don't really have the style of the things I like. I like, more nerdy things, more things like that, more cross-stitch related things. A lot of times if you see the kits, especially like Michael's or Joann's or things like that, they're very generic almost. I mean, there are things for if you like violins or cats or things, you can find them out there, but if you go to your LNS, you're going to find a lot more variety and you can find a lot more out there for you. If the few kits I do have, I actually have picked up through either Stash and Load because I was like, it's Disney, I have to have it, or I bought at the thrift store because it was like $1 or 25 cents and I was like, deal. I love a deal because I'm the sort of girl that if you go, ooh, that's a nice dress, I'm going to tell you what I bought it for and how much I saved. Not the designer or something, because I'm going to be like, let me tell you, I got this in clearance and I had to go to 3 stores, blah, 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 because That's where I shop, the clearance section. My husband hates to lose me, but he always knows where to find me. It's going to be where the red stickers are. Same, what are my favorite designs to stitch? Just ones that speak to me, the ones that I'm going to want to put up or that make me laugh or that mean something to me. That's what I go for. That's what, like the one last stitch, because that's something I actually say to myself. I sit up like saying, just one more stitch, just one more stitch. Or, you know, I'm stitching I plan on stitching my brother. He just got engaged. One of their favorite movies together is Star Wars. And I plan on stitching one of the pictures of a silhouette of Han Solo and Princess Leia. And it says, I love you, I know. And I'm going to stitch that for them as an engagement present. Because I know that that's going to mean something important to them. And it's, you know, something I like too, Star Wars. So I go for something more like that than like, oh, I'm a sampler person. If the sampler means something to me, I'm going to stitch it. I've done samplers, baby samplers and things like that. But I've done a Zelda baby sampler for a friend. I've done a Mario baby sampler for another friend, because that's something that shows that I know who they are versus here's a generic baby sampler with, you know, little things. Now I have done a kit one for my cousin, and I accidentally got the date wrong on that. And that was my biggest stitch up until like 2 years ago. And I know it's in a closet somewhere if she has not thrown it away. So that upsets me just a little bit. Because I'm like, it's backstitch. I could pick it out and fix it. Just, she hasn't told me. I know because our moms talk. So, how do I get inspiration for my projects? Jeez Louise, I answered all these questions already. I see it. I like it. I want to stitch it. How do I store or keep my charts? Right now, I got them in this, or I have them in a folder online on my computer marked crafts, cross stitch section. I do have one marked current cross stitches, which are the ones that I'm hoping to get to this year. But that's mainly how it's done. Up until recently, I've never had more than the one I was working on. So I don't really have a system yet. Do I stitch for myself or give to others? Both, whatever I feel like it. I tried telling my husband I hadn't given him one yet, and he goes, yeah, you've given me plenty. I didn't have the heart to tell him. I just stitched those and told them they were for him, so he didn't yell at me for hanging them up around the house. But okay, maybe the one that says my husband has an awesome wife was for him. But I just like to remind him he has a pretty awesome wife. When I take my cross-stitch projects in the car to appointments or traveling, how do you carry all your supplies? Usually, I just have it. I have a pretty big purse because I used to carry books around with me. So I'll just put the project and the Q-snap, stick it in my purse, and then all the threads and the snips or anything, I usually have a little thread package. I got this at the Eiffel Tower. It's one of my souvenirs. I think it was a kid souvenir, but I was like, well, whatever, it'll work. Like I have the threads in this one for my Stitchrovia project and little thread snips. And I usually print up my e-projects and cross it off that way because I don't have a tablet. I have a desktop. Actually, I didn't have a tablet. My husband just bought me one, which is what I'm recording on. So if this video seems like different, like the quality, let me know. Because yeah, this is a new camera. And if it is worse, that's a problem because this is brand new and that other one's kind of old. But he got me this so that I can start trying to use it to mark off my digital charts and things like that, and not have to print everything up. Because yeah, right now I print everything up and usually have a clipboard and don't look at that. Yeah, you can see this. Have a clipboard and keep everything on there and just mark it off as I go. So that's what I do for that. Try to keep it pretty small. Like I said, these ones are too big, so I can't really keep that around. This one is small enough that I could easily take it with me and keep it in my purse and keep the pattern with me and not have it be too small. Something like this, I'd have, photocopy the pattern just so I could mark it off, a working copy, and not mess up the original, because I don't want to mess up the original in case something happens, then you're screwed. And what do I enjoy most about stitching? The creating something. I'm not a creative person. I've never been able to draw. I can't, it's just not the way my mind works. But being able to look at a pattern and transform that pattern into a piece of art, into something that can be displayed, is something that I have no other way to do but through cross stitch. Freehand is not for me. I'm not going to become a designer, a pattern designer. It's hard enough for me. I still haven't substituted colors yet. That Love is the first one where I got to choose my own colors, and it was drastic. I was always like, I don't know what to choose. And when I choose fabrics, I'm always choosing the colors I like. And I'm like, try to spread it out some. That's why I like Fabric of the Month clubs, because I don't choose. They send it to me, and I'm like, oh, this is super pretty. I never would have chosen it, but now I have it, and I get to figure something to do with it, and so it expands my horizons that way. The same reason I'm a part of some of the thread clubs and things like that is it expands my horizons. But for the most part, I'm not creative in that way. I have family members who are and always have been, and I just haven't been, and it always was frustrating to me that I never had an outlet, because I've just never I can imagine these things but never get them to translate out. But this is a way for me to do that, and it's also so calming. It's I call it my meditation. It's a way when you're busy focusing on the needle going in and out. And for me, I'm also usually, watching TV or lately Floss tube, screw TV. I'm not thinking about, what bills are due tomorrow, or what am I making for dinner, or have I lost, these last 10 pounds I want to lose, or, the last, the questions that run through everybody's mind. It happens to everybody, doesn't it? Well, okay, maybe about 80% of the people. But it gives me that break to feel relaxed and calm and collected. And gaming does that for me too. A lot of times if I can get into a really good game and get lost in that. And I have fun gaming. But at the end of gaming, I don't have something that I could share with other people. I could gift or hang up and remember and enjoy later on. That cross stitch does have that aspect too, that I enjoy, being able to share. And so far, the Floss tube community and the Stitcher community, it's a lot nicer. You see my dad back there. It's a lot nicer than the gaming community. Maybe the gaming community I've only known is WoW. And I was on a PvP server, which means player versus player, which means people will just sit there and kill you for no reason. And I hated it. But that's where my husband was playing, and the only reason I was playing at the time was to play with my husband. So that's why I played there. He told me later, oh, they have servers that aren't PvP. And I was like, nope, didn't know that. But I was already on to greener pastures. There was a giant thread in Stitch Mania on Facebook about video games. And I swear to God, I had a comment about every video game somebody was talking about. I was like, played it, loved it, meh. I had to play video games for like 2 days because I was like, okay, that bug is needing, attention right now. So, and Steam was having their summer sale. So games were like 70% off on the Steam sale. So yeah, went to go buy some cheap video games and played those for a couple days. Or it would have been farther along on Stitchrovia. I was hoping to get that one done before the video. Whoops. So that's what I love most about stitching. That is what I have for talking about me and cross stitch wise. Now I'm going to go into some loot, or stitchy haul, or stash, or whatever you want to call it. Like I said, gamer, so loot comes to mind. I thought I'd start out first with some goodies I got off of Stash Unload. Sorry for the crinkling. I guess some people really don't like it. I like the crinkling, so I didn't think to take things out beforehand. But lots of people apologize for it on FlossTube, so I assume others have made comments. I don't always read all the comments. Sometimes there's like 120 comments, and I'm like, on other people's videos. I read all 4 of mine, but like on other people's videos, and I'm like, I don't have time to read 120 comments. I want to watch the other 50 videos this person made. So, yeah, but I'll read all my comments because my phone tells me when I get them, and I'm like, my comments. But I got some crystal treasures from Mill Hill, just some cute little flowers. There, and then some butterflies. My mom's nickname for me growing up was Butterfly. She says, because I was beautiful, and I think it's because I was flighty. But now I like to think of it because, you know, I went through a bad time with depression and anxiety, and one of the quotes that got me through is, without change, there would be no butterflies. Because change is hard and change is difficult, but you have to go through change. And without change, there would be no butterflies. And butterflies are a lot prettier than caterpillars. You don't want to hold either one. Butterflies, yes, pretty, but please don't make me put one on my finger. And then these little hearts. And then I got some April Showers Joblin 13 by 1828 count. It's coming up pretty good. Lots of purples and light purples and blues. I love fabric. I have a fabric problem. I see a pretty fabric, I will buy it. And I will someday figure out something to do with all of my pretty fabric. I got a pattern. Country Cottage Needleworks Christmas Carols. Because who doesn't love a good Christmas pattern? I mean, okay, I know there are some people who wouldn't love a good Christmas pattern, but I love a good Christmas pattern. And then, because I went to Dublin this year, and I always have just been in love with anything Celtic, or if you prefer Celtic, I got some good crosses. Lucas! We have a little visitor. This is my little Luke. Hi, baby. Mama's filming. Okay. Yeah. You guys got to meet Leia last time, and this is Luke. So Leia's over here, too. Hey, you want to come say hi? Come here, baby. Step in the way. Scaredy cat. Whatever. But there's this one. I like this one. It has little thistles. So that's all the stuff I got off of Stash Unload in the last couple weeks. I did some shopping at Joann's. They had a pretty good coupon. I got an Ott light. I got a big stand one, and now it sits behind. I can't show that. It sits behind my chair at home, but it's really nice. But I got some DMC variegated threads. At least the variegated one, just because they were super pretty, and why not? It's always fun to have pretty threads. And then I just got some of the satin blue because it's so pretty and I just like feeling it. So that, and I got this book, Retro Christmas Cross Stitch. Looked super fun. I had a lot of cute little stitches in it that I want to stitch, and just also finishing ideas. Finishing is a problem for me because I stitch to stitch, not necessarily to finish. And so a good thing about these books and different things is the different finishing ideas. That helps me out a lot. So I bit the bullet and I got some plastic bobbins off of Amazon. 1,000. I got 1,000 plastic bobbins. My husband saw the package and he was like, "What are you buying next?" Mainly, I don't plan on buying 1,000 tomorrow, but I am a member of Mo's Floss sale, and I get her grab bag each month, and that comes with grab bag thread, and I always usually buy a few extra or something. So I'm getting quite a collection of Mo's sale floss, and so I don't want to keep it in a bag. I'd like to have it wound up. So I have a couple of old boxes that I used to keep my DMC bobbins in. So I thought I keep my Mo's floss in there, and just so other flosses that come in, I have enough bobbins because it was just cheaper this way than to keep buying the small packets of the DMC ones. So this is my latest Mo's grab bag that I got. I love Mo's sale. Just the cotton ones. I'm not going to show them individually. That takes forever, and it's unnecessary. I have too much other stuff to show you. I'm also a member of Ship's Manor Mailer of the Month, or Fabric of the Month, and Thread of the Month. So June, you saw Biddy Stitches. It's the, what color is it? Oh, Frosted Blueberries. I get the Joblin 28 count. I love it. It's so pretty. I was like, I don't have anything like this, but it's pretty true to color. Hi, Daddy. I know how to edit. I just don't care to. And then the Thread of the Month. I've been part of the Ship's Manor. I first heard of Ship's Manor through Stitchy Box. And Stitchy Box is the box that got me really back into stitching and how I learned about Stitch Mania and everything else like that. And then I've been a part of Ship's Manor because I heard about their Kickstarter for their Fabric of the Month Club. So I've been a part of their Fabric of the Month Club since the Kickstarter. And then I got the threads. And then they just started their Primitive Fabric of the Month. So I got that for June too, because you always need a good primitive. It's a 32 count Joblin, just to get a different count. I think that's pretty true. Leia! Unnecessary. Good God. Good God. You want to come over here? You want your screen time too? Come here. I'll help you on the couch. You need me to move this? All right, go on. Go on. You're free to move. All right. I also ordered an 11 by 11 Q snap because right now I have an 8 by 11 and an 8 by 8, and I think another 8 by 8, but it's not a Q snap brand. Oh, there she is. Leia. Hi. If she sees herself, she'll bark. So I ordered an 11 by 11 off Etsy from Snuggly Monkey, which is really cute. She gave me a little needle minder. She sent me a little needle minder to go with it. Really fast service off Etsy. Really liked it. Got it really quick, which was good because I got to get it out of the mail, not my husband. Not that he cares. Then he makes fun of me. Also joined the Lakeside Needlecraft Stitch Along Christmas Stitch Along. So I got my fabric from them. It's a cute snowflake pattern. And then I got the needle minder that goes with it. Got my needle. I found my needle. I lost it the other night. Don't tell my husband, because I tell him I buy needle minders, so I'll stop losing my needles, and then I keep losing my needles anyways. What I got there. I also got some pretty blue Ada. It's sparkly. It's opalescent. You can't really see it. I even couldn't see it when I first bought it. I was like, what's this? Forgot I bought it. Then I saw it and I was like, oh yeah, I remember why I bought it. So I got that, really pretty, liked it. And I got my Color Cascades Mystery Fabric of the Month. It says April. It's called Oceans. Oops, that's the wrong end. No wonder I couldn't open it. I just love it. It's so pretty. It's kind of wrinkly, whatever. I really like it. Really like it. And it is a 32 count Belfast. I'm really happy with that. And then, not her last video, the video before last, so 2 videos ago, Mindy Stitches mentioned a geeky cross stitch, or shoot, Kimberly, figure it out. Now I can't remember. I'll put a link down in my thingamajigger down below about grind guards, geeky grind guards, and things like that. And I was like, I have to check that out because I just bought a new Q-snap. I need a new grind guard. So I went to go check that out, and I got a new Star Wars grind guard. It looks like sheets I used to have. Okay, it looks like sheets my brothers used to have and would yell when my mom would put them on our bed. But she sent a very nice thank you card along with the purchase, which was really awesome. And she even tied it up in a little piece of the fabric, which is awesome because I'm going to now use it as ribbon for when I want to do stuff with it. So that is all of my brand new... Oh, no, forgot. My L&S has a couple of clearance bins, and they have like their clearance bin and then their clearance bin, which is like even more off of their clearance. And so you always have to check those out. So I went in and bought a couple things that I'm giving away to sprinkle stitchy kindness, but then I also saw some things in the clearance section that I like. And one was this Spells for Sale cross stitch. It was really cute. It even comes with the little spider bead, but I just thought that was super cute, and could stitch that up and have fun with that. And then one was this little ghost boo pattern, Trick or Treat, that I just thought was super cute. It might be a cute stitch up to give to a little kid or something. And then because like I said, my mom calls me Butterfly, I thought this would be a cute one to stitch up and give to my mom for Mother's Day one year, or her birthday or something. I always have on hand to give. Mom, you'll forget this. You saw this. You'll forget about it. So that's all my new stuff that I have. And so I did bring some, oh no, that's not all my stuff. I made it to the thrift store today. And they didn't have any like supplies, but they did have some books. They had The Pleasures of Cross Stitch. So I picked that up. I haven't even looked through it to see if it has anything super good that I can show you. But it says $1.50. It was half price. It was like 75 cents. So not bad. And they had cross-stitch samplers. So you always have to get this, and then you'll look through it later. Never so humble, there's no place like home. With fingers so nimble, she plied her needle and thimble, and then name and date. And I'll probably never stitch it, but if, you know, the apocalypse happens and I need patterns because I can't create my own, guess what? I'm stitching it. And 120 celebration cross-stitch cards. I don't make cross-stitch cards. I think I'm kind of a slow stitcher. I don't know. I don't have anyone to judge it by. So for me, I'm like, I'm not putting all that time in for a card. This is to be framed, not putting a card. But I might like it for like the motifs. I don't know. That's a kind of high. That's a really cute looking little reindeer. He looks kind of fat and maybe a little hungover, but I like him. And then it's not cross stitch, but it's Doodle Stitchery, the motif collection, embroidery designs. I don't know. I feel like a next step for cross stitching is learning different embroideries. Just because some of the more fancy designs call for different types of stitching, and once you learn those stitches, you can, you know, then do different things. So now I have patterns to do those different things. So I got those. I got The Earth Awakens, some different flowers. I really like the irises right here because that's what my daughter's name is, Iris. So just different patterns for the iris, for the flowers. And then just an old cross stitch and needlework magazine. I liked how the frame is perforated paper, and then you do the outside. You do the inside on Ada. I thought that was different and interesting, and something I'd never thought about before. So I got those at the thrift store today. So now I think I'll show you the few kits that I do have. One, I did get this off Stash Unload. This is Fantasia. I am a Diz nerd. My husband and I went to Disney on our honeymoon. I go to Disney once a year. I love Disney. I used to live in Southern California, and I would go once a week. I love it. I'm going again. You know, I'll actually be there for Halloween this year. I'm super excited. We don't get there till a couple days later. But I'm just so scared because I keep hearing about all the like half stitches and blah, 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 and the French knots, and then I get scared, and so I haven't started it yet. But I do have the kit. I got it off Stash Unload. I got this at the thrift store, just a cute little angel ornament, just a fun little stitch. I might try it. Kate's Cross Stitch had one that had not poppies. Oh, good grief, the flowers that she loves. I've been binging her videos lately, so I can't believe I can't think of it. But the flowers that she loves on it, she had an angel. She did an angel like this, but she messed up, and so she didn't make the angel. But I'm going to try and do the angel for my mom because she loves angels. And then I liked this one a lot. It's a placemat. Dear Santa, here's something yummy for your big jolly tummy. I thought that would be something cute. I could save this up for when I do have kids. But it even comes with the felt to put on the back of the placemat, so that's fun. And then found this dimension kit. So I just thought, hey, that's pretty cute. I'll probably never stitch it. I mean, if you guys see this and you are like, oh my god, I love that. Please, please, just let me know. I'm never gonna stitch it. I mean, unless I'm like saying, oh, I'm going to stitch this like the Fantasia one, just let me know. Like this one. I love this one. I really like it because, like I said, the butterfly theme, but I don't know. It has really cool printed fabric. The symbols are printed on it. So that would be really cool. And I do love the colors in the butterfly. I'm just not sure when it will get brought up. I have so many things, the never-ending problem of so much to stitch, so little time. It was open so that I could look at the fabric and everything, but other than that, everything's there. And then just a little fairy kit that I got in one of my magazines. So those are the kits that I have. I brought a couple of, I have a bunch of Mill Hills. I love Mill Hills. I love the all beaded Mill Hills. I've done one all beaded Mill Hill and one thread and bead I showed last video. I brought one of each to work on while I was visiting my mom in case I had time, because I'm here for a couple weeks. So I brought those to work on because those are nice to just sit in hand and stitch and stuff. I didn't want to bring out my whole thing and a big old chart and everything. I could just work on those. Let's see. And I can show you. I have a bunch of small patterns. These are my small patterns. Some of these are stash and load. I don't remember where I got all of them. This is just my collection of patterns that I've been building up. This one is a Lizzie Kate. I know God. It says, I know God won't give me anything I can't handle. I just wish he didn't trust me so much. That speaks to me, especially like I said with the loss of my daughter a couple years ago, and just the depression and anxiety I fought through after that. That really speaks to me because people would be like, oh, he doesn't give you more than you can handle. And I'm like, you know what? Pretty damn close to it. So for me, this really means something. So this one I actually ordered off of 123 cross stitch because when I heard about that saying, I was like, that is something I need. This one I got from my LNS Stitch in Time in Reno, Nevada. I love that little shop. It's so cute. Fluffy Bear, is there too much stuff in your way? We'll come on the other side. You've got this. Be you bravely. Just a little, everyone needs a good uplifting statement to remind themselves. You got this. You got this, girl. Cute little snowman. If I forget to take it down or I get lazy and it's still up in January, it's not a bad thing. Shoot, in Reno, it snowed in like May, so I'm good. Stitching forever, housework never. I could just put the housework, whenever. I could just put housework never and it would work for me. That's what my husband said. It's true. I don't like housework. For all that is good, we give thanks. I had lots of Halloween, lots of Christmas, but not so many Thanksgiving. And I thought I needed a Thanksgiving one. So I did a little turkey. I got a little turkey. I thought that was super cute. I love that. Country Cottage Needleworks. Oh, come let us adore him. Country Cottage Needleworks has become one of my favorite designers. I don't know why. I just like their designs. So I got that. Lizzie Kate Celebrate. Because that Santa is adorbs. God Bless America. As you can see, 4th of July. We need to decorate for that. Home Sweet Home. I want to put this by, because my husband and I went to Disneyland for our honeymoon. I had, one of our souvenirs from that trip is I had them paint our names at Disneyland. So all the names of the letters of our last name were painted using characters from Disneyland. So I thought I'd put this Home Sweet Home up by that because that's, our Home Sweet Home wall. We even now have little plaques that have our dogs' names on them. So, Loving You Always and Forever by Little House Needleworks. I just really like this pattern. It's cute, something I can stitch up and maybe actually give to my husband. Or just stitch it for myself and hang it up. And this is the Nevermore that I stitched before. You saw the finish last time. Here's the Sweet Nothings. Welcome, baby. Welcome, sweet baby. Just a cute little one. I have Lavender and Lace Guardian Angel. And Lavender and Lace Angel of Mercy. Both beautiful, but all that white in there scares the crud out of me. So I'll probably never stitch this one, but I do think it's beautiful. This one I might do. I like all the different colors in it. I think that would give it some variety and make it easier to stitch. And then I have a couple of mirrors. I have never stitched one, but I do have a couple of Mirabilias that I would love to stitch. The one that I want to stitch first, geez, I just put the picture in upside down, would be this one, which is Fairy Flora. I love this one. It's number 7, so 1994, so one of the first ones, I think. But I just love it. I think it's so gorgeous. I like how there's a frame, but she pops out of it, and that the wand is all beads up there. I think it's gorgeous, and I like the face on this one more than some of the others. I also like Tatiana, Queen of the Fairies. Tatiana. Queen of the Fairies. I like this one. The hard one I have with this one is I don't like the fabric that they use. To me, I don't know. Okay, it kind of screams like 70s and old-fashioned, and I don't think it plays well with the color in her wings. And I might see if there's any color conversions for her dress, just because I'm not a big pink girl. I never have been. I always thought of myself as like a wood nymph type fairy, greens and browns and things like that. I met my husband at a D&D game, for those who don't know, Dungeons and Dragons. He played a dwarf healer, and I played a half-elf ranger or hunter. And that's pretty much our personalities. He's very much a dwarf healer, and I'm very much a half-elf ranger. So yeah, pretty much we knew who each other were quite quickly. It didn't hurt that my best friend was also in the game. She was a rogue, pretty spot on. And she called me and said, "I met the man that you're going to marry, and he's playing a dwarf." And I went, "I need to meet him." And we hit it off, and right away. I had to work real hard. He's so shy that I had to work real hard to get him. I was like, "I like him." I was like, "Tell him I like him," and so that we told him. But then he was too shy to ask me out. So then I finally asked him out. I was so nervous. He's so cute, my little husband. And then the Cottage Garden Fairy. I like this one. I do like fairies. I said I like her face. I don't like it if they look too snarky. I'm like, calm down. I like this one, Butterfly Fairy. Duh, I mean, pretty common. Butterfly, the theme. But her face, I do think she looks a little snotty. I might see if there's a way to redesign her face. Leia! Good God, sorry, people. She's making stuff up. But I do like it. This one, I don't think the pink is bad. I think it works. Maybe it's just the background and the pink in the other one clash to me. Well, anyways, I have more patterns, but I will save them for another date. This video is hitting 49, 50 minutes, and you don't need to go that long. You don't need to listen to me that long. And since I don't really edit, I don't edit. That's how long it's going to be. So thanks for watching. I would love comments. I would love likes. I don't need any more thumbs downs. That hurt my feelings. My therapist was like, why did it hurt your feelings? And I was like, because it just does. Understand? So yeah. But yeah, I'm at my mom's for the next couple weeks, so I should be home for the next video. And probably show off some more of my patterns. And I probably won't have too much loot next video because, like I said, I'm going to be here. Or I might, and just shop online. So yeah, so I will see you then. Thanks for watching. Bye.